Welcome everybody to our latest show for Call the Doctor. As the name implies, we want you to call in and ask us questions. Today we have as a guest, along with my co-host Gene, Dr. Stephen Sorsby. He's the new director of the Urgent Care Center at the famed Boice-Willis Clinic. Welcome to our show.
Thank you for having me.
Start off by telling us a little bit, not about you yet. I want to hear about the Boice-Willis Clinic. We spent a lot of time on the show proclaiming the wonderful things that the hospital has done for healthcare in our community. But you have as much heritage. You know, the Boice-Willis Clinic does.
And maybe he does too. I mean,
yeah, right.
He
may well. So tell us first about the Boice-Willis Clinic and the dedication that they've provided to this community for many decades.
In a sense, it's probably more heritage than the hospital.
I would bet so.
The clinic started when two young surgeons from Roanoke, Virginia decided they liked the looks of Rocky Mount. And the two surgeons were B.C. Boice and Edmund Willis. Try to get them backwards. At any rate, do we have those pictures? There you go. Edmund Boice, B.C. Willis. They came down to Rocky Mount and acquired a controlling interest in Parkview Hospital in 1914. Shortly after that hospital opened. That hospital was built by a group of docs here in Rocky Mount. Because there were only two hospitals in town, they were both relatively small. One was a railroad hospital, so it was dedicated only to the railroad employees. So the community didn't really have a place to go. The docs built Parkview Hospital. Doctors Boice and Willis acquired a controlling interest in it. So the Boice-Willis Clinic was originally, in essence, part of the hospital. The doctors' offices were inside the hospital until 1948.
A long time.
A long time. And then at that point, they purchased a house across the street, set that up as the first independent doctor's offices. And at the time, Parkview Hospital was the hospital, Boice-Willis Clinic was the physicians. So even when they were inside the hospital building, it was separate organizations. When Boice and Willis started the clinic, they had a clear model in mind. Dr. Boice had trained at the Mayo Clinic with the Mayo brothers, and in fact was friends with them, and for many, many years.
Really at the foundation of the development of surgery in our country.
At the start of surgery.
Modern surgery in our country.
And at the start of the first physician-led multi-specialty clinic. And that's what this clinic has striven to be ever since then. Obviously not as big as the Mayo Clinic. For many years, even after they started the clinic here, Boice-Willis physicians would go to the Mayo Clinic for training. The Mayo brothers were good friends with Dr. Boice, so there was a strong connection there. And the founders also put a very strong emphasis, as the Mayo brothers did, on staying at the cutting edge of medicine. The Boice-Willis Clinic, Dr. John Smith, who joined not too long after the original founding, essentially was a cardiologist before it was even a specialty. He developed the first coronary care unit in the area, brought in the first defibrillator in the state.
That pretty much makes you a cardiologist, right?
At that time, right. That's what it took. And so ever since then, the clinic has continued that emphasis on staying up to date, keeping the training alive. We still have, all of the providers have an allowance and a time allowance to do the continuing medical education and to stay up.
By that, do you mean that the clinic, because you're salaried by the clinic, are you saying that the clinic actually allows you to take extra time and pays your way so that you can get continuing education?
Exactly.
So you stay at the leading edge of your sharpness.
Exactly.
And nobody else in the community or even in the state can be more intelligent, more trained, or more up to date than you guys are.
That's what we aim for.
That's perfect. Because that's one of the things we stress in this show, is that you don't have to go outside of our area for excellence. And
Agreed.
we'll bounce on that a little bit when we talk about your history, because you're not originally from this area.
Correct.
Right? Your excellence was recruited here, and we'll talk about that. Because if it's not homegrown, we import it, but we make it our own. And you don't have to go outside of our community to get the excellence in almost any field of medicine.
Right, and we talked
So-
about how the hospital's just gotten better and better with leapfrog ACE scores and all the partnerships, the cardiology and Lineberger, partnership with Chapel Hill and all. I mean, it's just getting better. And you're just one more example of
It is, because the excellence that the hospital's able to show is because the hospital's data collection is compared to other hospitals, but no hospital is good without its contributing members being as good.
Exactly.
Or even better.
Exactly.
And so it's your company's excellence, and whether they're employed by the hospital or employed separately, like you are and I am, we're not hospital employees.
Right.
But we're devoted to supporting its excellence. And they have national measures of their excellence. I just read that they were in the top 25 hospitals in the state. That's
I
impressive.
think they're number 23.
23, that's
Yeah.
impressive. Impressive administration work, impressive work by all the providers, including the ones like us that aren't on staff.
But the hospital it's a community of care. I mean,
Right.
what would we do without Boice-Willis and primary care docs there and other specialties? I mean, Boice-Willis is amazing in having the broad range of specialists there. You just don't find at most places like that, most clinics.